Hello everyone, welcome back. This is what if Izuku Midoriya is the spawn of Shuma-gorath. Let's go. We start off with the birth of Izuku, as per normal. Like I said, check the pilot because that is canon. The pilot was essentially an explanatory thing, and not a lot of people caught on to what I did. Like, in all technicality, like when Inko was like, God, I think I made her like 6 or 7, she got touched in the navel region of her stomach. And I think no one noticed that. But yeah, no, like, Shuma basically put a timer on, hey, when the pregnancy is going to happen, because Shuma is that precise, usually. And yeah, no, I guess no one noticed that. And if not, I mean, I didn't explain it because I was hoping, let's see if they pay attention enough. And I was like, nope, guess that's just how it is, I guess. But when Izuku is born, he comes out with one eye where his forehead would be, so basically Cyclopean eye. He does have a nose. It looks the exact same. He has the same hair. Well, he will have the same hair. You just imagine Izuku one eye. That's basically it. And once Izuku comes out, most of the people that are mages that would be in Japan and just people that would be attuned with magic, they would feel Izuku's presence, right? The fact that Izuku has come into fruition opened a lot of doors for a lot of people. But more specifically, Doctor fucking Strange. Doctor Strange feels this presence. And it's not Shumagorath's, it's just this powerful magic presence. It's like if, it's basically a well of magical energy, right? And as per usual, I'm just gonna use this as an example. As per usual things, there are different types, ways of it working, that kind of shit, right? It's one of those. But since Izuku is like the son, technically, of Shuma-gorath, his like demigod, Izuku is always been magically gifted. Izuku was almost built for sorcery, right? Granted, that doesn't mean he's not, like, abnormal in any way. I mean, he has one eye and all this other shit. But other mages in Japan, well, not mages, sorcerers. I'm just going to call them fucking mages, sorcerers, just magic users in general. Because I'm more used to that. It's not like I'm gonna be calling people fucking wizrobes, but essentially, what Izuku will be doing for the first, like, 2 years, right? As per usual, year 1, Izuku's able to speak and, like, do fairly complex sentences, right? He doesn't know all the words in the dictionary yet by year 1, but he's close. He's very close. And Izuku during this time frame has been being visited by Shuma-gorath in his dreams. Which, like, imagine this shit, right? but instead of the Earth, it's like a 1-year-old in the center of that shit. And Izuku doesn't feel any fear from it, because this is basically me giving you guys an inside look of Shuma is literally watching what would happen to Izuku. Why? Oh, simple. He's bored. He literally made a version of the world just to test this theory out, to see, like, what are the thousands upon millions of possibilities that would happen in this world. And that's what Shuma's doing. He's watching the kid. Because technically, Izuku, like, this version of Izuku does not exist. Or does he? But, yeah, no. Like, during the time of that, like, 1 year span, Izuku has been having dreams such as this, and been being basically praised by, like, the small cult of shuma-gorath that has been present around there for years. Now, to say that shumagorath doesn't have spellcasters among his people that he has would be a lie, right? So, early on in Izuku's life, he's being taught, like, magic, like shuma-gorath shit, which is basically world-altering as fuck. But not only when he's awake, but also when he's asleep, from actually Shuma basically teaching him how to use his godly abilities subconsciously, right? He's not there for Inko because he doesn't give a fuck about Inko. He gives a fuck about this entity which he had spawned. He wants to see if this would be enough to kill most, if not all, of the people which would stand in his way. Such as the Sorcerer Supreme and other versions, right? So, during this time, Izuku's learning a lot of fucking magic. And year 2 of his life, because his mother wants his son to have a normal life outside of, cult shit, because realizing that she was a leader of a cult and she could just send her kid to do shit, yeah, like, be normal, is good for the kid, but that's how she would have wanted to have been raised. You feel me? Inko's kind of in that mood. But during all this time, it has been apparent that Izuku is stronger than anything most people have seen. Like, he's kind of already plunked a few fucking radar pings. You feel me? Because, like, when he was a year old, he was diagnosed with this quirk. They thought it was a mutation. No, it's just demigodhood, kid. Like, that's what that is. But, since Izuku basically has Shumagorath's fucking skill tree that he could just kind of call on, Izuku is that type of person that would learn faster than everyone else, but deliberately, like, flunk tests to make sure that he would stay with, like, his quote-unquote friend group. All the way up until Katsuki started getting fucking uppity. Izuku never really shown his quirk to most people, right? And yes, I said quirk with quotations. And when Katsuki started to get uppity, right, Izuku wasn't about it. He was like, just started fading away from Katsuki. Started to give less and less of a fuck about him because he started being a piece of shit to him too, calling him weak. And Izuku didn't mind it at first, all the way until middle school, where they tried to throw down. Or at very least, Katsuki wanted to fight Izuku. Izuku basically, seeing it coming in slow motion, just kind of tilts his head back to the side and forward, holds his left hand up and fucking essentially sucker punches the shit out of this man. Now, Izuku is still at that phase where he's learning his strength. So when Katsuki gets hit in the side of the temple, he's asleep. He's unconscious and he has like a skull fracture. Like, out of everything Izuku did, he was not expecting to hit that hard because he hit with the strength of like 18 to 20 full-grown men, like, with baseball bats, just like, now, slap, damn near splattered Katsuki's head across the pavement, right? He didn't kill Katsuki, but he rattled his shit hard. To the point where, like, Katsuki is afraid of Izuku, right? It's apparent. Izuku would even have to go to, like, quirk counseling and at the age of, like, 7. Which he would then meet this girl that was apparently invisible. He didn't understand because he could see her. Like, as soon as he noticed, like, that... Fuck, I forgot her name. 1 minute. I need to check this. Alright, I'm back. So, like, when, like, people realized that he could see Hagakure, this shit, like, changed how he, like, people perceived him. Right? Because Izuku almost killed someone. Right? And it was clearly an accident because he didn't know how to control his shit yet. Him and Hagakure basically become family, right? And it could possibly blossom into something else. They don't know. He doesn't know. No one knows. But regardless of the fact, Izuku, during this time period, is just kind of on that train to where it's like, this person is enjoyable. Like... And, like, when it comes down to just how Izuku is, in general, he's, more often than not, like, really, like, overly nice, right? And what do you mean by overly nice sound? I mean, like, he's that type of person that, like, after you would punch him, he would tell you to say sorry. Sorry. He wouldn't retaliate immediately. Because most times, often than not, he doesn't want to fight you. But if he will aim for one of your limbs because he would rather have you be an amputee than a corpse. Like, I'm gonna be fucking dead ass Izuku. Izuku doesn't want none when it comes to fucking accidentally killing people. He doesn't like that. Izuku during this time frame would also meet, who was he? Todoroki. And during that time with Todoroki, he would just be basically talking, right? Now, during this time frame, Todoroki and him would also become a bit closer. Closer as well as some other people, well, that he would eventually meet. because Todoroki would eventually have Izuku would come over. And him and Todoroki would be playing. And then one time, I'm like, this was just a little bit before. Or the whole... Well, actually, no, it would have been after. So, Todoroki during this time, alongside Izuku... I'm sorry, one moment. Is just kind of chilling there. And then Endeavor would, like, walk in on this because Fuyumi and, like, everyone else, like, they kind of just chose to let him in because it was like, Shoto needs friends. Like, and it's apparent he needs friends or he's just going to become a ball of darkness. And then, like, Endeavor would try to have Shoto and Izuku train with him. When Shoto didn't want to train and Endeavor was basically pushing him to do so, kind of forcing him to do it, Izuku wouldn't like it. And he would tell him to stop. I'm doing that, you're acting mean towards your son. And it's like, I'm sorry, who are you to tell me how to raise my child? Like, Endeavor wouldn't usually dignify that with response, but he's kind of high emotions because wife. But, yeah, no. He's still forcing Todoroki to do this shit. And then Izuku finally had enough after like 5 minutes of talking to a brick wall. And like, Fuyumi was about to go up and just like grab him and say, come on, Izuku, I need to show you something. But before she could really stand up and do anything, Izuku, one step, hits the ground, jumps up, and punches that man directly in his nose. And the reason Izuku did that was because, like, Todoroki was overheating, and it was clear that he was, like, not having a good time with it, right? He was actually starting to, like, really heat up, like, damn near pass out heat up. And Izuku would knock out Endeavor with the sucker punch. Just like... And when he lands, Fuyumi's just like... And Todoroki just stops and just kind of looks at Izuku, just like... And Izuku just kind of walks over, just pats him on the back, and is like, come on, let's go get ice cream. And he just kind of takes Todoroki, like, not even caring about, like, Fuyumi and everyone else, jaws hitting the damn floor. Fuyumi does go to check on the father, because that is Fuyumi Todoroki. That's just... She's a good daughter. She's way too good for that family. She's the only thing keeping them together. They would have splintered a long ass time ago. But, when it comes down to, like, Izuku, man, Izuku and Todoroki would still, like, hang out for, like, an hour until, like, Endeavor woke up with a broken nose. And Fuyumi basically just patching him up, like, making sure that he's good. Endeavor's like, oh, what the fuck? It was like, hold still. Let me just finish with your damn face. He hit you hard. And he's like, oh, what happened? And it's like, you got knocked out by a child. And just like one solid, like, he freezes and blinks and he says, what? You're knocked out by Izuku. You made him angry, he jumped up and punched you in the nose. He knocked you unconscious. And he's just fucking both impressed and kind of annoyed that a child, someone that's like 7, like was winning an argument with him. And then when it he barely Endeavor barely won the argument with the "I'ma kick you out of this house if you don't stop." That's the only reason Izuku stopped with that. And then Izuku just punched him in the nose. Just zero hesitation either. There was just alright then. And this man only understands violence. So when it comes down to it, Izuku's just one of those types of people that's like, oh well, I'll be very blunt with you. Don't be stupid. That's basically Izuku at this time, because when he is 7, he's in that stage of his life where he's hyper intelligent. No one really knows it yet because he's been hiding it. When in all reality, he just doesn't care. He's basically going through the teenage stages early because he's surrounded by people that are clinically fucking depressed. No, actually, because Hagakure, he was basically sitting through group therapy with Hagakure and now Shoto. He's kind of going through that, oh man, oh wow, life sucks. Life is a problem. But he will probably get out of it and just be a normal person. Just wouldn't really care about anything much. Right? Well, he's gonna be like me at the moment. Which is alright with most things. Unless it's super fucking violent. When there's zero need for it to be. Unless he starts it. But that is episode 1 of What If Izuku was a spawn of Shumagorath. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that shit. I hope all of you have a wonderful day. And yeah, peace.